What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the first installment of SPREADZIES here on the Parleh. I'm your host, Luca, alongside Jelani, and we're excited to bring you this new segment. How it's going to work is Jelani and I are going to run through every single spread for week 3, and we're going to go head-to-head, old-fashioned style, and we're going to see who gets more correct over the other person. And here's the stipulation. Whoever has the better record at the end of the season will have to buy the other person their favorite team's jersey to wear on our Super Bowl show. So let's just quickly introduce our favorite teams. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm wearing my Ravens sweater. And Jelani, who are you rocking?
You already know, man. Big Cowboys fan, Cowboys Nation, shout out.
Now I gotta ask, are you a bandwagon Cowboys fan or have you been a lifelong Cowboys fan?
No, definitely lifelong. It's a family thing. So we do embrace the bandwagons, but I can't relate to those guys.
Fair enough. Okay, let's jump right into it, Jelani. Week 3, it's shaping up to be another entertaining week here in the NFL. First game we're gonna look at here, the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Cardinals are 7.5-point favorites. Who do you like in the spot?
Yeah, I'd go with the Cardinals. I just don't see it from the Jags so far. And Urban Meyer has had a tough process getting into the NFL as a head coach who has a lot of experience in college. But, as a lot of college coaches know, getting to the NFL, it's a whole new thing. And Kyler Murray, he looks like an MVP candidate right now, maybe the favorite, the front runner. So I'm taking that Cardinals offense to put a lot of points on the board. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I can't really come up with an argument to take the Jags here. I mean, the Cards, they have looked explosive offensively. Lawrence hasn't impressed me. I mean, 5 picks through 2 games. It's been a tough going for him in his NFL career. I mean, this was a guy that had never lost back-to-back games in his life, and here he is now 0-2. I think the Cardinals are going to steamroll past the Jags. I think this is going to be a double-digit win for them. So I'll gladly lay the 7.5 here. I don't think it's going to be close.
Right. And let's move to the second game now that we have the Colts and the Titans. This is going to be a great division battle. Right now, the spread is Tennessee 5.5. What do you say, Luca?
So interesting one here because Wentz actually sprained both of his ankles. I think as of now, it's still unclear if he will be ready to go. If he's not, Jacob Eason will come in and he'll play. And I think his first pass in light of Wentz last game was an INT. So I just don't trust them in this spot. I mean, Tennessee, you got to give them a ton of credit. It looked like they were going to go 0-2. They looked lifeless in that game against the Seahawks. And then they stormed back with that epic second half comeback in Seattle, which is not easy to do. I think the Titans are going to have an easy time here. And I'll take them to cover that spread at -5.5. I think they'll win by about a touchdown.
I actually think it'll be a close game. I just don't know. Like you said, I don't know what Wentz is going to look like. Is he even going to play? Apparently, he didn't practice today. So, yes, I take the Titans in this one as well.
Okay, next game, we got the Ravens laying 9.5. My Ravens on the road against the Detroit Lions. What do you see happening here, Jelani?
I see a blowout. I'm sorry, Detroit. I hate to do this to you, but I think Lamar is going to come in, have a great performance. But what I'll also say is, Detroit, they did impress us in week 1 in the second half, against the Niners. They made a comeback. And also they looked pretty good in the first half against the Packers. But I just think that the Ravens defense will perform to a high level this week. So I'd go with the Ravens. What about you? You're a Ravens fan. So I think I know.
Take him here. Right? I got to take him here. I mean, or else all the other Ravens fans will disown me from the fan base. Listen, the Lions, terrible defense. Their offense hasn't been as bad. They've been actually, been able to do a couple of things, especially in the first half of games. But I just don't think they're going to keep up with Lamar Jackson, the running, the short passing game, the long ball. I think this is going to be Ravens across the board. There's going to be a popular survivor pick as well, I think. And yeah, I'll take the Ravens to absolutely dismantle the Lions and easily lay that 9.5 here.
Yep. So now we got Washington at Buffalo. Intriguing matchup, to be honest. And we have Buffalo at 8.5. So what are you saying on this one?
Yeah, I was on the fence with this one because you look at the Bills last week, Jelani. I mean, they exploded. They dismantled the Dolphins. I know Tua went out, but their
Yeah.
offense really came alive after a shaky start in week one. I think I'm going to take the points here with the Washington football team. I mean, Tyler Heineke, pardon me, he's looking like he's going to be the foreseeable starter for that team with Fitzpatrick out. He did a lot of good things in that Thursday night football win against the Giants. I think Washington will make it interesting here. They got a really good defense as well to keep things interesting. I think this is going to be a closer game than what many people think. The Bills win, but I do like the Washington football team to cover that 8.5 point spread.
Yeah, I agree with you, to be honest. The Washington isn't a bad team. They honestly could be 2-0 right now if you look at it. Week one, they played the Chargers in a very tough game, but both their games, that Chargers one and last Thursday against the Giants, both single-digit games, very close games. I think they're going to do the same thing in Buffalo. It is a tough environment. Josh Allen, getting in the groove after a good, performance against Dolphins, but I think that Washington with that defense, they need to get things going. I think that they're going to start getting things going this Sunday against Buffalo.
All right, so we're on the same page there. We're rolling along here. Next game, we got the Saints taking on the Patriots in New England, and the Pats are a 3-point favorite. What do you see happening?
This is a close one. I'm going to go with the Pats. I do think the Pats are going to win this game, to be honest. It could be very close depending on how Jameis Winston looks, but can we trust him right now? I don't know. We saw Jameis, famous Jameis week one, and then week two, it just collapsed. So, and obviously Bill Belichick is there. He has a plan, always has a game plan against these types of quarterbacks that want to air the ball out. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots in this one, but this is really a toss-up.
I agree with you. I'm going to lay 3 here with the Patriots. I was one of those guys drinking that Jameis Winston Kool-Aid after week one. And then in week two, we saw the Jameis Winston that we're accustomed to seeing. I mean, it was a brutal game. Credit to that Panthers defense. They have been playing unreal of late. But I just think, Belichick, he's going to come up with those defensive schemes against Winston. He's going to make his life miserable. And I think he's just going to zero in on Alvin Kamara, who's coming off an abysmal game, only 5 yards on the ground. He was a non-factor in that game against Carolina. So, you add all those things together, I think it's going to be another bad day for New Orleans. And I just think the Patriots are going to keep it rolling here. Mac Jones, he has been looking promising. I mean, he's not making those mistakes. He's doing what he needs to do. He's been managing the game well, in my opinion. So I like the Patriots to come up with the dub and cover that 3.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also the Saints, lacking in terms of pass catchers. So it's going to be very interesting. So let's move to KC. We have the Chargers coming into town against their rival Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs right now at 6.5. What do you say, Luca?
This is interesting because I saw a stat that the Chiefs haven't covered their last couple of spreads. I mean, we look at this team where they usually dismantle their team or cover the big number, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. And you look at the matchup between these two teams of late, Jelani, it's been closer than what's been expected. I mean, the Chargers have made these games interesting, and I think they're going to control the time of possession here, which is going to limit Mahomes' impact on this game. I was so close to taking the Chargers with the upset win here. I like them in this spot. I'm not going to go as far as saying that, but I do like them covering the 6.5. And I think this is going to ultimately be a field goal game.
Yeah, Justin Herbert has looked fantastic so far this year. Obviously, they lost to Dallas last week, but that could have been a win. The only problem that I have with, the Chargers is that they're just not disciplined, and that could be a load of trouble in Kansas City. So I'm going to go with KC. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I do think this is going to be a shootout, though. I think both sides of the ball are going to see a lot of points, a lot of passing yards, because, it will be calling for air attack. I'm going to go with Mahomes to have a nice day, put up large numbers, but also Herbert on the other side. He's going to have to keep pace. So we'll expect him to have a nice game. But I just don't know if the Chargers can be disciplined. And you need to be against a team this formidable like KC. Give me KC.
And the Chiefs did lose last week. Patrick Mahomes' first loss in September. So is he really going to lose back-to-back September games? It might not. But we'll see what happens. But that's actually the first game we've disagreed on, so I'm glad.
I know, right?
Next game here, we got the Chicago Bears, and they got Justin Fields. That is going to be ready for this one, as the Bears are going to be the underdog going into Cleveland. Cleveland, 7.5-point favorites. What do you think, Jelani? Is Fields going to come up with a big win in his NFL debut, NFL first career start here?
I'm going to take the Bears to cover. I don't think that they're going to win this game, but, Justin Fields, he's one of my favorite prospects that came out this draft. I think he's going to have a good day. However, you're looking at the defense of the Browns, and they know how to pass rush, like the best of them. So you have a guy like Myles Garrett. That's going to be some trouble. But I do think that, you have David Montgomery in the running game added on to Fields. I think Fields is going to be running the football a lot on Sunday. It's going to be an intriguing matchup. Can the Bears keep pace? I actually do think they keep pace. We saw with the Browns, actually, in their last matchup with the Texans, a lot of people thought that the Browns were going to beat the Texans by double digits. Didn't happen. In the first half, a lot of plays didn't really add up for the Browns and defensively. And then the Texans, they managed to keep pace until, the game ended. So I think this week we're going to see something similar. I think the Browns are going to head out there, score some points, but it's possible that the Bears get on the board as well. They covered this one.
I agree with you. And an important thing to note during this game, or to keep an eye on, is Baker Mayfield. Is his shoulder all right? Because he popped it, and he was able to come into the game and obviously finish that game. But is he 100%? And if he's not, will that Bears defense be able to exploit that, maybe create some turnovers and make life a little bit easier for Justin Fields, who I think is going to have an average game, but they don't need him to be crazy. I think this is going to be more about if the Bears defense can force takeaways and create something. I think they'll be able to do that. I'm not saying the Bears win, but I'll say they cover the 7.5-point spread here.
All right, we agree. So let's go to Cincy and Pittsburgh. This is a division matchup that we always like. Pittsburgh at 4.5. What say you?
You know what? I'm not only going to take the Bengals to cover the spread, but I'll say it boldly on this show. I'm taking the Bengals to win this game outright.
Okay.
Both defenses are solid units. I think it's going to come down to the quarterback play. I've not been sold on the Steelers. Yes, they had that very impressive win in week 1 against the Bills, but I think that's more about the Bills just not being ready. Obviously, the preseason's shorter now. That might have just been a look ahead spot. I have not been, invested or impressed, I should say, by the Steelers team. The Bengals have impressed me, and I think Joe Burrow is going to outduel Big Ben here. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals, Jelani, to cover and win this game.
All right, calling an upset. I'm going to go with the Steelers winning the game and both on the spread as well. I just think that when you're looking at last week with the Bears-Bengals, the Bengals didn't really play well offensively until the very end. It was 17-3 throughout the whole game, and then they managed to catch up late. But I just don't think that's going to happen against a defense in Pittsburgh that we were, pretty impressed with. We saw them week 1. However, TJ Watt, that question, is Joe Hayden didn't play last week. Is he going to come back this week? So those things are definitely, questions, but I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to come out. It's a division game, so they're going to play hard. And I just don't think that the Bengals have enough. Also, I love Joe Burrow, but they can't protect the guy. It's bad so far. They can't protect him. And if you don't protect your franchise quarterback, I don't see you getting on the board. We'll see a lot of Joe Mixon, though. I'll say that. But yeah, give me the Steelers in this one.
Okay, no upset from you. Next game here, we're going to take a look at the Falcons. They take on the Giants, and the Giants are actually favorites in this spot. What do you see happening?
Yeah, I think the Giants got this one in the bag. I have not been impressed with the Falcons at all. Again, I just think after that Super Bowl, hate to bring it up, Atlanta fans, but after that Super Bowl, they've just fallen off a cliff, especially defensively. I don't know what's going on their defense. And also, when you look at the offense, Matt Ryan, he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but can they generate enough offense, to try to, cancel out that defense? I just don't know if that's going to happen. And the New York Giants, honestly, Daniel Jones has impressed, so far this year. He's impressed us. It's just, can they finish games? I just don't know. but I think it's going to be a pretty close one. I'll say probably a touchdown by the Giants. So give me the Giants in this one. I just can't trust Atlanta. Hate to say it.
Yeah, you know what? I keep taking the Falcons every single week, and I continuously am disappointed by them. I'm gonna take them here.
Oh,
I'm gonna take that. That hook. Give me the 3 points. I think the biggest reason why is the Giants just can't close out games. I mean, we saw it last week. A drop in the end zone. So many plays that make you just scratch your head as a Giants
yeah.
fan. Yeah, the Falcons are a mess. Their defense is horrible, but that offense has looked pretty good. I give them a little bit of credit. They were able to get back in that game against Tampa before Tampa Bay blew them out in the final moments of the fourth quarter. But yeah, I just don't trust the Giants. I don't trust either of these two teams, but I guess to disagree with you, I'll go with the Falcons and that hook +3.
All right, let's see what happens in that one. And then we're going to move to the Las Vegas Raiders. They are hosting the Miami Dolphins, and the Raiders are favored at 3.5. What are you thinking about this one?
Interesting game. Tua's out. Brissett is in. I did not like what I saw from Brissett. I know it was a tough spot to have him come into
Yeah.
the game, but he wasn't able to do much of anything. I think the Raiders are going to cover the spread. I'm going to take him here -3.5. I mean, the Raiders going 3-0, crazy, right? Really, really crazy stuff. And I'm surprised the spread isn't a little bit higher. Derek Carr has been able to air it out. I think he's going to put up a ton of points in this one. Yeah, I like the Raiders in the spot.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I just don't see enough from Miami. And obviously, Tua's out, so that's huge. And last week, like you mentioned, Brissett, he didn't have a great day at the office, but that's also because their O-line has been a bit shaky, and that's not going to be good against this Raiders front that could get to the quarterback. We're seeing it from Max Crosby and company so far this season. Mad Max leading the charge. And yes, Derek Carr, he's having an impressive year so far. John Gruden, a lot of questions about him this season. Is he on the hot seat? Is he not? And they need to play well. The Raiders need to make a push toward the playoffs this year. So, yeah, if they start 3-0, it's going to be pretty impressive. You have Darren Waller there. They've managed to do things in the running game without Josh Jacobs last week. You saw Kenyon Drake have a nice game. So, yeah, no, I'm going to go with Carr and company on this one. We have the Jets at the Broncos this weekend. Luca, 10.5 for the Broncos. That's pretty big. What do you say about this one?
I'm not sold on this Broncos team. Another surprise 2-0 team in this spot, Jelani, but who have they beaten? The Giants and the Jags, who are, no teams to brag about beating. The Jets, though, are a mess. They have not done any good things out there. I mean, it's been an awful start to his young NFL career. Zach Wilson threw, 4 picks last week?
Yeah.
I think he's now the guy who's seen ghosts out there. And I mean, it's going to be a tough one because, 10.5 is a lot of points. This game is going to be in Denver, tough place to play, Mile High. I guess I'm crazy to say it, but I'm a fan of taking points when the spread's this high. So I'm going to take the Jets 10.5. I think the Broncos do end up winning this game, but I just don't see it being a double-digit game. And like I said, I am not sold on the Broncos up until this point.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Denver. I wasn't impressed with what I saw from the Jets as a whole team, as a whole group last week. I know that Zach Wilson is a rookie, so there's going to be growing pains, but we'll see how he does. Denver's defense is sneaky good. I think a lot of people forget to mention them when talking about the better defenses in the league. And of course, you're playing in Denver. The altitude. It's going to be a tough game for New York, honestly, especially since they're a young football team. So give me Denver in this one. Teddy Bridgewater also, he's looking pretty good. I always thought that he should have been the starter rather than Drew Lock this season, and we're seeing why, right? And the running game will be there as well for the Denver Broncos. So give me the Broncos in this one, 10.5.
Yeah, it's been a feel-good story so far with Bridgewater coming in and playing well so far. Next game here, this is going to be the game of the week. A potential NFC Championship game preview is what many people are calling this one. I mean, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who are looking impressive with Tom Brady playing out of his mind at age 44, taking on the Los Angeles Rams who look rejuvenated. With Matt Stafford over there. What do you see happening in this one, Jelani? It's going to be a close one.
Yeah, this is going to be the toss-up of the week for sure. I'm going to take the Bucs in this one, actually. And, this comes after Antonio Brown has COVID now. So I don't think he's going to be out there on Sunday. That's going to be intriguing to see. But the Rams, if you want to take the Rams, you're going to go and point to their defense. So far, the defense looks, fantastic, looking pretty good. And obviously, Matt Stafford coming in the door, he is looking like a new man, leaving Detroit, coming to LA. So you might be enticed to take LA, and they're also at home. But again, what do we do with Tom Brady, the GOAT? You don't go against this guy. Give me the Bucs in this one.
Yeah, I'm probably going to regret this pick because you just hit on the head. You don't bet against Tom Brady. But I just think the Rams are going to pull it off here. They're at home. That defense, I think, is going to cause havoc on Brady, finally apply some pressure to him, pressure that he has not faced up until this point of the season. And I just like what I've seen out of Stafford. He's been able to air it out. And I think this is truly what the Rams have missed. A quarterback that can throw the ball down the field, isn't afraid of, throwing that deep ball. And Stafford right now has been showing why the Rams made that bold move of bringing him in. They're in win now mode, no more excuses. This is a Super Bowl team, in my opinion, and they're going to play like it here and make a statement. And interesting to note, Jelani, that the Rams started the week as the favorite. So I guess the money was coming in on the Bucs because now the Bucs are the slight favorite, but it does not matter. This is a toss-up game either way. I'm probably going to regret it, like I said, but I'll take the Rams here and give me the +1.5 if I need it.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, honestly, the Rams and Bucs. That's my pick for the NFC Championship. So let's hope I'm right on that one. It's going to be a great game for sure. Let's move now to the Seattle Seahawks going to Minnesota and playing the Vikings. Seattle is favored 1.5 in this one. So, Luca, what do you say about this one?
Yeah, the Vikings, what a tough season it's been for them, especially last week. I mean, I feel bad for Vikings fans out there, Jelani, because how many times does this fan base have to sit through seeing their kicker miss a makeable field goal to win a game? Right. It keeps on happening. This Vikings fan base has been tortured over the years, and that is a team that should have won that game against the Cardinals. This is going to be another toss-up game. Both these teams, I think, are going to play hard. And ultimately, though, I'm going to go with the Seahawks -1.5 on the road. Seattle, they should have been 2-0. I don't know what happened there, especially from a Pete Carroll coach team. They simply just let their foot off the gas. They completely melted down in that football game in the second half against the Titans, or else they were cakewalking to another win. They had things under control. So I think the Seahawks are the better team. I think it was just a little bit of a hiccup from them last week. I'm not going to make it a big deal. And I think they're going to get back on track. And I think this is just going to be a long season for the Vikings. They're not a bad team, but they're one of those middle of the pack teams where you don't know what you're going to get from them on a week-to-week basis. And I do see them falling to 0-3 here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle. Minnesota was one of the teams I was really looking closely at this season, seeing if they could possibly have a resurgence after a pretty poor 2020, but I'm not seeing it from the defense so far. I thought, since they're healthier this time around, we'd see a lot better performances. Hasn't been the case, especially last week, letting Kyler Murray do whatever he wanted. Rightfully so. Kyler in that offense is crazy. But now you got Seattle and Russell Wilson. He has Lockett. He has Metcalf. Those guys to throw the ball to. Expect him to air it out again, have those 70-yard bombs out there. And, I need that because Tyler Lockett is on my fantasy team. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Seattle in this one. I think if you're looking at Minnesota, they need to run the football because you need to get Russell Wilson to stay on the bench, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Give me Seattle.
Okay, to Sunday Night Football now we go, and this is going to be a good one. We got the Green Bay Packers on the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers, who are 2-0. What's your pick in this one?
I'm going Green Bay in this one. I think a lot of people are saying San Fran, but now that Aaron Rodgers has that week one monkey off his back, he comes in, plays Detroit, has a nice performance along with Aaron Jones. I just think that now they're getting in a groove. Now they're feeling good about themselves. You do see them playing a good team in San Fran, a good defense led by Nick Bosa and those guys. But I think that Aaron Rodgers is now feeling good. He's got all that noise away from him. He's comfortable, and that's scary. That's scary. So, and also I think that Devontae Adams is going to play a big role in this one. Honestly, I think Aaron's going to rely on him a lot, similarly to Aaron Jones. So give me the Packers in a win here.
Yeah, this spot reminds me of 2019 when Green Bay went into San Francisco twice and got blown out each time. I'm going to lay the 3.5 here. The 49ers I think are a legitimate team, legitimate Super Bowl contender. They're the real deal. I think that defense is going to make Rodgers' life a little bit more difficult in this one. I'm going to look at Jimmy Garoppolo though. Can he have himself a game? I mean, he's been mediocre to say the least, but he's their guy. That's their quarterback for now, not Trey Lance. And San Francisco, they're going to go up against a good opponent here. Obviously, they played the Lions in week 1, and this team hasn't truly been tested. But I just like the Niners in this spot. I think you look at Rodgers' career, he doesn't, perform well in San Francisco compared to other places. So I'll take that 3.5 points, and I'll take the 49ers to win on Sunday Night Football.
All right, we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Niners, playing the Lions, then playing the Eagles. Not the best teams in the league, but good segue. The Eagles are playing my Dallas Cowboys on Monday night. All right, the Cowboys 3.5 favorites. Luca, what are your thoughts on this one?
I'm not a Cowboys hater, but I got to go with the Eagles here. I mean, I'm not taking the team that you're rocking right now, but I actually think the Eagles are going to keep this game interesting, might even win it. I think this is going to be a field goal game. So I'm going to take that 3.5. I think, Jalen Hurts is going to show up here. Yes, Dallas looked very good in that win against the Chargers, but Dallas also had some help from the refs. A lot of questionable calls there. I mean, the most notable one was that sack on Herbert. I thought the Chargers would have won that game if not for that call. I think this is going to be a very feisty back and forth game, a typical divisional game whenever these two teams and two rivals meet head to head. Monday Night Football. I'm taking the points. Give me the Eagles plus 3.5. And I think I know who you might be taking.
Yeah, everyone that knows me knows I hate the Eagles. I do like Jalen Hurts. He went to Alabama, and I like Alabama. So I'm rooting for him, but not in this game. I'm going with my Cowboys in this one. But I'll be serious and I'll say it's going to be a tight one. I came into the year along with a lot of other Cowboys fans that were like, yeah, the Eagles are going to be bad. They haven't looked that bad, to be honest with you. Their offense is rolling. You have Jalen Hurts. You have Smith. Smith is going to battle with Diggs. So that's going to be an intriguing matchup for sure. But Jalen Reagor, maybe he might do something for the Eagles in terms of the passing game. When you're looking at Dallas, they're going to have to run the ball. The Eagles have done pretty well against the pass so far this season. And obviously, Dallas is looking and appearing to be a passing team. So it's going to be interesting with Pollard now coming in the fold with Ezekiel Elliott. So we'll see how the carries and touches work with those two. But it's going to be also intriguing to see Amari Cooper. He got a little banged up against the Chargers, his ribs. So we'll see down the line if he's going to be suiting up for Monday night. But yeah, give me the Dallas Cowboys in this one.
Awesome. That's great. And that's going to conclude our week 3 picks against the spread between Jelani and I. We're going to see how we do going into next week, chalk it up, tally it up. And like I said, at the end of the season, the loser has to wear the other team's favorite jersey for our Super Bowl show. And I think the loser also has to send it to the winners. So that's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the first ever episode of SPREADZIES. This was our week 3 edition. And make sure you tune in to our week 4 picks next week. Good luck, Jelani. And I hope I beat you this week.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
Thanks for watching, guys. This is SPREADZIES on the Parleh. Take care.